Why does it feel like weight loss gets harder as you age? Is it truly about just aging that is degrading your process to be able to lose weight? Or is there more to it than just that? I'm here to tell you no matter where you're at right now, as you feel that you're aging, you're still in perfect position there to be able to help yourself lose weight and get the results that you want. I'm going to share with you here how to be able to lose weight the right way as you age and to get rid of the limiting beliefs that held you back from losing weight. I'm Lee Glow with LTA Performance, and in this video, I'll share with you of how to be able to still lose weight as you age and not allow that to hold you back. So as you get older, it is true that things do feel harder to be able to lose weight. But is it truly because just as you're getting older that your body is working against you? I'm here to tell you that there are other things at play that are actually causing more issues than just your age alone. And the first thing you have to understand is your lifestyle plays the biggest part of you being able to lose weight. Now, as you get older, your lifestyle changes. I'm sure you're no stranger to understanding where you were as a teenager or where you're in your early 20s is not where you are today. You have a lot of different things that have came about. That could be with as far as your relationship status, your work status, what you do within other responsibilities. You probably have a lot more to deal with. Did you have all these things to deal with when you were younger where it felt like it was so easy to lose weight? I'm sure no, right? There's other things at play. So the lifestyle has more drastically changed. As you get older, you're normally going to have to deal with more responsibilities, right? For many of you listening, I'm sure you're a parent, you have a spouse, when your job, if you've moved up higher in your job level, so add more responsibility. You may be an entrepreneur, so you have a business and there's a lot of different things to deal with, right? You may have other responsibilities that you have to do outside of just taking care of your family that you are a part of. So there's a lot of different things that change as you get older, right? It's not the same. I know for myself, there's a lot of things that were a lot different when I was in my 20s or I was a teenager, that now there's things that I had to make sure that I do each and every day because I have more responsibilities to be able to handle. And many of my clients have been in the same position and they've noticed that it's so hard. And a lot of times we start looking for maybe externally things that go outside of just the lifestyle that we think is actually working against us with our body, right? We just always assume, well, my metabolism is slow down so much with that. Well, how has that played a factor within your lifestyle? How are you being different than what you were before? Because many times you just have different things, and now that you have these other things that are happening, it makes it harder because you're not only just worried about yourself, but you have other people that rely on you, that have to count on you. So your energy goes there. It's a lot easier, of course, if your energy is just focused on yourself and what you're doing when you have more responsibility, different things happen. So the number one thing has gotten harder for you as you age is actually your lifestyle. It's not just what is happening biologically with your body. It's the lifestyle that you have, which is different from what you were doing before. So you have different responsibilities. You have different things that are happening. Prior, dealing with more stress. There's other things that you're probably thinking about when you're younger. You don't look as much into the future. As you get older, we start being aware of a lot more stuff, right? Because you start feeling like, man, we're losing time. Like, I gotta really do some things. So often, your health may not always be that at the forefront of it within the lens you're looking at as far as what you need to really take care of. And then when you try to do that, now that you have other stuff that you're focused on, it feels like you're overwhelmed. It feels like you have too much on your plate. And you're like, how am I gonna get all this done? So the lifestyle part is the real thing, and it is hard as you age because it's really that your lifestyle is not as easy when you're younger and you have the different things you're doing. So you got to remember that's the number one factor. So look at how can you adjust your lifestyle to be healthy. It's not separate, you put it together. So that's understanding of how can you prioritize your health to make sure that it goes into your health within the lifestyle. That's why we talk about healthy lifestyle, right? Your health has to be part of your lifestyle. So how do you make it healthy and blend in what you're doing? It's possible, right? You just got to understand that. Second, the thing that has changed as you get older is the inactivity. Be real with yourself. You're not as active as you were when you were younger. When you're younger, there's a lot of stuff you're doing, right? You're ripping and running around. For many, you've had a bit of athletes, so you're in sports, so you were doing different things. If you were in school, you probably walked a lot. I know when I was in college, you pretty much walked everywhere, right? Some people might not did it, but that's another thing that increases your activity, the more that you walk. And you got to think about, did you do other recreational stuff? I know for me, I love playing basketball, but I know a lot of people kind of give it up once they start getting older because they got other stuff, so they don't play and do other things. So that definitely helped increase your activity. So what else are you doing outside of just exercise? You got to remember, exercise, of course, is important, but there's other things. And of course, I'm sure you probably were more active than exercising because what you else are doing. So your inactivity is a big factor into the weight loss. Now, I talk about how activity alone isn't what's going to change within just make you lose weight. It's not the biggest factor. But one thing that activity really helps against is gaining weight, right? So when you're younger, it's a lot easier to maintain your weight because you're so active. So even if your other habits are not well, because I mean, of course, you may drink a lot when you're younger, or you probably didn't eat the best, but you probably didn't think about it. You probably didn't blink about the different choices. But you got to remember, it's a compound effect. Everyone just looks at it and maybe like, wow, I'm 50 pounds heavier than where I was before. Didn't happen overnight, right? There was other things that factor in, but it was a compound effect. So you start to gain weight. So what does time do? It compounds. So that's what really happens. So the more time you go without activity, you're just compounding it. So when you're more active, it helps you out. So activity is a big defense mechanism of regaining weight. A lot of times if someone's losing weight and they regain the weight, it's not just what they did with their eating. A lot of times their activity went down as well, because usually when they're focused on losing weight, they're gonna make sure they're staying as active as possible. And when you stop, you just notice, man, it seems like you're gaining weight so fast. So a big part is as you get older, you're just not as active. So that plays a big part. When you're not as active, how does that affect the rest of your body? Well, you have to understand muscle, which many of us start to notice as we get older, we lose at a rapid rate. But when you have more muscle when you're younger, it helps boost metabolism. If you have a higher metabolism, what's that doing? You're burning more fat throughout the day. If you don't, it's a lot easier when you eat some of those foods that you were able to get away with in your younger days. Now it's not. And you feel like, man, it's so hard. I can't eat like I used to. Well, there's other things that were at play with it, right? Within your activity level that changed. So your inactivity is a big reason why you're noticing that it seems like it's harder. Your activity is not as well. Even when you go back to exercise, there might have been other things you were staying more active outside of that. And that's why I encourage to try to increase activity outside of exercise. And I'm talking about that in the past. But the more active you are, the better it's going to be for you as well. And the third thing you have to understand is it really is all connected. It's really a domino effect. So if your lifestyle is different, you're not as active, and then with eating, your habits have maybe changed as well, where you just noticing with you being stressed, you go to the type of snacks that you want to binge on that. If you're someone like I've had a lot of times where you're traveling a lot, you don't make the best choices because within your work schedule and different things you're traveling, you're a lot more busy, so you're a lot more on the go. When you're tired, now that you are, a parent, maybe when you come home, you don't feel like cooking. And so maybe the family just eat out and you go to a restaurant more often because, you're tired. You don't have the energy to go through it. So a lot of times you make bad choices. So this is a compound effect that happens. It's all is linked together of how it's affecting you. So when you start noticing you're inactive, your lifestyle changes. So your poor choices start to catch up with you. This is what's factoring into your aging. We have seen within studies that a lot of times you don't really start noticing the true effect of course, as you're aging, your body is getting closer to that biological clock, right? We understand we all are gonna die someday, and your body is gonna slowly die, right, as you age. But as we think about it, it's not as rapid as what we really think of. We just have assumed that as we get older that we have to get into that decrepit state and that we have to be not at the level we are. We know as people that have prioritized health, they could be in their 70s and look better than people in their 30s or 20s, but that's because they understand that part. So the thing is, it really doesn't gonna slow down for you where you really start noticing your age until you're way past in your 60s and 70s. And then you're talking about later 60s and 70s where it actually shown that metabolism has more of a factor because aging factor versus an activity. So for many of you listening, if you just don't allow age to be a factor. Like age is something that we just really put in as a reason why we can't be healthy. We just assume. That's a mindset thing as well. That's another thing the chain link effect, this domino effect, is that your mindset has really just changed too. Because when you're younger, you're vibrant, right? You feel different about yourself. You're not gonna feel like you're somebody that's tired and all those types of stuff. When you start getting older, you just accept it, right? You acknowledge that, well, hey, I'm older, I'm in pain, I'm doing this. Well, is it because of different things in your life has changed? Yes. So it really comes all together. If you have a vibrant energy to yourself and you feel that you have a lot to do and a lot that you can be better, you'll change. That's what I noticed in the clients. That's why mindset's a big part is that mindset has to change too, as well as some of the other parts that have allowed you to get in the position you're on. So lifestyle changes is a big determinant, which we know is the biggest factor. The inactivity, and then the domino effect, right? Your mindset being different, your eating habits that you maybe had before that were poor catch up to you more because now other things are happening. It all comes together, and it seems like it's an avalanche. But the great thing is you can change it, right? By just reversing it. Whatever you're struggling with, reverse it and put it into good action. And I know you can do that. So let me know what you got away from this video. You see how as you age that you are in control, that you can make these changes to help yourself. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe.